Darius D, and you're watching Suave Kid TV. Hopefully all is well with you guys, and Christmas time is upon us. So if you're a subscriber or a viewer, first of all, thank you for stopping by. Happy holidays. I'm not sure what you guys celebrate, but I'm a Christian. I celebrate Christmas. So Merry Christmas to the fellow people who celebrate Christmas, and if you don't, happy holidays. So we're gonna just get right into it. You guys clicked on this video mainly because you want to know how to style flares, or other words would be bell bottom. So when it comes to these pants actually took wave in the late 60s and mainly throughout the 70s, right? A lot of people know them based off the disco era, which took place in the early 70s, probably phased out around the late 70s. And we know that with fashion, a lot of times it gets researched. So this actually came back in the Y2K era when I was a kid, and it was under the guise of bootleg jeans. And if you look at some of these 2000 archive pages, you can see different brands like Von Dutch wearing bell-bottom pants for the ladies, and also True Religion had bell-bottom pants for men. So what irked me to end up getting into flared pants, I watched this show. Some of you guys know it, some of you guys may not. It's called That 70s Show. And That 70s Show is basically a show that takes place in the 70s, but it's not centered, or it's not in your face with all the nostalgia that, oh yeah, this is 70s, like 70s references here and there. There are references, but it's a good, well-written show, and it has a lot to do with the 70s. So a lot of their wardrobe obviously is going to be the 70s. And what I noticed is the flared pants, and I was always interested in the flare pants, mainly 2 years ago when one of the people I follow, Elias from PAQ, he was always talking about flared pants and stuff, and I never understood why, but I always liked the aesthetic because it looked pretty cool based on how it stacks on shoes. It stacks on shoes very well. So I looked, because of him and because of That 70s Show, I wanted to do it, but I got a pair of flares and they just didn't even fit. When I put them on, I couldn't even get above my quad. The sizing was basically garbanzo beans. It was trash, bro. Like, I didn't even know why I even bought that. Like, that's like $80 down the drain. So I just gave it away to one of the
2,000 years later.
diabetic associations, because I didn't even want to resend it. I didn't even want to deal with like shipping it back or selling it ungrilled or anything, because I'm like, yo, it's not even worth that much and worth that hassle. So I definitely, it's one of the losses I took this year, but we can bounce back from it. So
That's the bottom line, 'cause
I watched this video, and I'm gonna actually link it in the description below or put it in a card, because he inspired me to actually do it myself. Now, either way, your boy is not that great at sewing like that. If I have a patch, I can kind of sew it because I took home ec in high school. But aside from that, your boy's not that sick with it, man. Like, these hands are too big, yo. These hands are made for catching footballs, you know what I'm saying? So that's what these hands are for, like that and editing videos and all the other stuff. But so one of my mom's friends who actually runs a business, she was able to help me with the process, and hopefully you guys know somebody who's like a seamstress or a tailor that can help you with it. So I just picked a pair of pants that I like the fit already, and I followed gave the instruction to the video to her. She was able to understand everything. And we were talking back and forth to see what I wanted it to look like. So make sure you get a pair of pants, number one, that you like how it fits. Number two, you have to and you must make sure you communicate with whoever's your seamstress or whoever is your tailor, because that way you can see what they're doing during the process, and if you want it altered a certain way, you can. If you want it tapered in at the thigh, you can do that. I chose to make mine just loose all the way through and just flare out at the bottom because that's how I want it. But if you want to be super traditional to how flares actually look for guys and girls, some of them were tapered all at the top and then loosened at the bottom, right? But I just chose to go loose all the way through, kind of like a skater aesthetic, because the shoes that I have, I like it how it sits on my shoe, how it stacks on my shoe. So make sure you guys are aware of that, because if you're not aware of it, then it's gonna be troublesome for you guys. All right. You can also, I'll link down it in the description below. In the guy's video, he used Dickies 874s. I actually have a pair myself. It's in dark brown, and those ones, I would say the materials is easier to use because it's a newer material and it's easier to work with. It's kind of rigid, but if you can get a decent fabric for it, it should be fine. Whoever you're working with should know what to do. Make sure you guys get the measurements that you want, how it looks. Actually mine, the flare is actually 20, I think she said it was 26 from the hem down because of the flare, because of the insert of the flare. So it's now around the bottom, the cuff of the bottom is now 26 inches instead of it being 17 what it was before. All right, so it was pretty cool. Make sure you watch the video if you know how to sew and do reconstruction and fashion, then you should be good to go. I'll link it below. I'm just gonna talk about some of the shoes that I used to style this. If you want a part 2 of full outfits top to bottom, I will be able to do so. Just comment that down below. And let's go with the question of the day. So what the question of the day is, what era is your favorite in fashion? So that could be from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even if you want to go as far as the 1920s or the 1910s, doesn't matter. So let me know in the comments below and we can discuss and disperse about what your favorite era is in fashion. For myself, I would say it would be either the early 2000s or the 70s and the 90s, I would say. So I don't mind the 80s either. Like, I'm open to all. But if you're gonna give me one that I would rock for the rest of my life, I would say probably 2000s or the 70s. So trust me guys, hopefully you guys can get this done. Make sure you also like and subscribe on this video, and as well as share this with your family and friends and those who are into fashion, because we're gonna take this YouTube thing by storm. And this has been your boy Dorothy, bro. I gotta dip, we gotta go, we gotta slide out. So y'all just chill till the next episode, cause your boy DD is definitely out of here.